get you by the goosebumps, goosebumps. Gotta get you by the goosebumps, gotcha. They're gonna get you by the goosebumps, goosebumps. Gotta get you by the goosebumps.
Hello and welcome back to Drunken Book Club. I'm your host, Christopher the Phantom Rupel. Bah, 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 bah. Joining me today is...
the creepy janitor who really isn't a janitor one.
Oh.
And I am the bitchy understudy, Sam.
That went nowhere. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
Yeah. Which is funny because it's like, at least in my opinion, I thought, oh,
Yep.
and no, she was
such a red... It's kind of a disappointing red herring.
Yes.
Because
It's a
like it had no
disappointing herring.
fulfillment. Oh, and I guess we should probably talk about what we read today or watched. We watched the Goosebumps number 24, Phantom of the Auditorium. I think it's a staple of Goosebumps. It's a pretty popular one. It's so popular as a matter of fact, it has its own musical
dun, 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 dun.
that R.L. Stein was on one time apparently.
Yeah, I actually have notes on that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, okay, good to know.
Because I took notes about the musical.
Yeah,
Because I
it's-
listened to the audiobook and then I was like, I know there's a musical because it always would give me one song of the musical.
Which
Like,
one?
The story of the Phantom itself.
Okay, because I know that for a bit, one of the songs kind of became like a TikTok one or whatever, or like they would, because it's literally a spoken word of like, oh, you're sitting in my seat. Oh no, that's not your seat. That thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of, because they made like a little like animated version of it, people started doing their own version of it.
Okay.
Like they tend to do with TikTok where...
Yeah.
Yeah, TikTok and YouTube Shorts and
splicing
Instagrams.
and,
Yeah.
using it, yeah.
But yeah, honestly, I don't remember this book at all. Like before reading it, I remember it well now. The only thing I remember of it as a kid was just that cover and me being like, that guy's in blackface. I don't know if you. I don't think. No, the book's in the
but I've
living room.
seen it. I've seen the cover.
And it's like, why did they make, instead of making him like a pale faced ghoul or something, it's just straight up blackface. Yeah, like that. Sam, are you looking it up right now?
Yeah.
Yo, is that blackface? No, this is just how I actually look.
Dun,
like,
dun, dun, dun.
The more recent one is like...
The more recent one's pretty decent. I actually like that
the
one.
more recent one looks like dude playing Phantom.
Yeah, he's like underneath. He's actually in like the crawl space or whatever it was called. I forgot what it's called. It's in the notes. But like the other one, it's just like the grown ass man Phantom in blackface.
It could be a shadow.
No, that is not Shadow. Don't defend blackface, Sam.
Touche.
Don't Justin Trudeau this.
And I will say, at least with the musical,
yeah.
Again, it's
They
just
have-
the Phantom.
It's just the Phantom. Yep. And you can see the skin. You can see pale skin.
yeah.
I don't know. I always found that a little bit weird when I looked at the cover, even as a kid.
When the cover for the actual book, the Phantom wasn't described as a black person. Correct?
No. Like,
Yeah. So
technically, he would have been in school in the 30s.
even then, that
And
just,
I hate to say it, at that point, it would have been segregated, and it probably would have been a white school.
yeah.
Yeah. And
Like-
you're not wrong.
And it doesn't look like a natural black. It looks like a white person doing blackface. That's
Yeah,
the
it doesn't
thing.
look like someone that's just... Yeah.
I like that we're going into the black.
R.L. Stein. Yep.
Actually, Tim Jacobus, you got some explaining to do.
Yeah, I was going to say, it wouldn't be the...
Because it's the artist on this one.
Yeah, because again, to be
Can you
fair,
separate
RL,
the art from the artist on this one?
I think I can, because I think it's just more issue.
Yeah,
like,
I think it was just
But we can understand why it's been updated.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just because it got the reprint in the 2010s when the movie came out and stuff. Or actually, that was before the movie came out. And honestly, I mean, I like those reprints. I like a lot of those covers. I think some of them are an improvement. I think this one's an improvement overall.
Agreed.
So, do we have anything else to say before we get into the story?
It's funny, I remembered the twist about halfway through.
Oh yeah, with the janitor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I remember, I was like, wait a minute.
I think I remember the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think I remembered something. I felt something was off with the kid, like Brian,
Yeah.
when he first came in, because again, he just showed up.
He just shows up one day.
You're just like, hey, and everyone's like, yeah.
You know what? Having worked at a school, sometimes that really is just what a new kid is like.
Really?
They just pop up out of nowhere and they're just like, oh, hey, yeah. They just start, they know which click to go to immediately and they just go with them. Maybe it's because I work at a middle school. Maybe they knew them previously from elementary school because I have had that case.
But I mean, sometimes you see at least with our cases, and you'd see the kids playing Pokemon or something like that.
Yeah,
And you go,
yeah.
okay, I know.
Yeah.
There's the Pokemon, or those are the people that I can hang out with without being judged.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that kind of
and
thing.
again, the way that it was portrayed is like he was just a theater kid that the understudy was like really into, but
Yeah.
Pretty sure she was into everybody.
Except
Actually, she wasn't into him in the book.
she's not really into him in the musical either.
That's
only
that's
the
an
TV
addition
show.
in the TV show. Which
Only the TV show.
you're
but she used
you're
him
actually
for-
the only one who I think watched it, because I actually I was busy playing Balatro, or however you pronounce it.
Yeah, no, you said it right.
It's so much fucking fun.
Mhm.
And yeah, I was busy playing Balatro.
And you got the free. You played right when the free update came out, where like there's a bunch of cards from different franchises.
I don't think
Added
they've
into it.
added that into
They haven't added it yet.
into the, at least the Game Pass version or the Xbox
gotcha.
version. I might have to double check it. I don't know. I mean, I've played quite a bit of it. I won't lie. It's so much fucking fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I also was making pickles and needed to buy the stuff to make pickles today. So there was also that.
Pickles.
I'm so excited for those pickles. All right, let's get into this story. Brooke Rogers and her best friend Zeke Matthews. And as always, guys, don't be afraid to interrupt with your notes, your jokes, and your sound effects. I'm looking at you, Sam. I want those sound effects. I want that boing, 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 boing. Yeah, that too.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, that too.
Dun, 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 dun.
Brooke Rogers and her best friend Zeke Matthews live in the town of Wood Mills. Or sorry, Woods Mill. I want to say Wood Mills.
Yes.
Yeah.
That because that flows better.
Yeah. I don't know, Woods Mill. No, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Woods. Yeah.
Woods Mill. Ugh. At school, they have been cast for starring roles in the drama club's upcoming play, The Phantom.
Dun, 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 dun.
As huge horror fans, the two can't wait to take part. Brooke has been cast as the play's lead, Esmeralda, where Zeke will be playing the titular Phantom. Tit. A fellow student named Tina Powell is cast as Brooke's understudy, but Tina seems jealous. No, there's no seem. She is fucking
She
jealous.
Yeah,
is
she's like
jealous.
super jealous.
She is such a petty fucking bitch.
Yeah, I
in
was
the
gonna
book.
say, literally in every version because I listened to the audiobook.
Yes.
Because I learned that our library on one specific app actually has the audiobooks.
All of them?
At least a good chunk of them, if not all
I
of
feel
them.
like if anything, that's the reprint ones.
Oh yeah, probably.
Because it's the newer.
Yeah.
But seems
But I
like
mean,
it's-
and if you ever want to listen to the old ones, those are all on YouTube, and those ones are really high quality.
But it's not all of the
No, not all
Goosebumps
of them
books
got 'em,
is the
though.
only catch. And
like,
it's,
and the best part about those ones is actually it's like famous voice actors, like the lady who played Princess Bubblegum.
Yep.
She's in there. Billy and Mandy Kid, Billy.
Richard Horvitz.
Yeah, Richard Horvitz plays. I think the next book has him playing Skipper, if I'm not mistaken.
So I'll have to find.
Well,
the old
I
version.
will actually probably listen to that audiobook because that just sounds good.
But
But what were we saying? Oh yeah, Tina's a bitch.
But yeah, Tina's a bitch, and in the musical, she's also a bitch. Like, there's literally a whole song where she's like, "Hi, if you broke your leg, that's fine. I'll take care of it. Rest for a day, a week, a month, the rest of your life. It's okay." Yeah, she's literally like,
She's the bitch.
Yeah, she's a little sociopathic
yeah, I'm like, "God damn, girl."
in the musical, at least.
During the play's first rehearsal, Tina tells everyone that the play is cursed. There's a death curse.
My
My grandpa.
My
Yeah.
grandpa.
Their teacher, Mrs. Walker, explains, long ago, when the school first put on the play, the boy set to play The Phantom vanished just moments before the play began. Despite a thorough search for the boy, he was never found.
I'm surprised. Like, it's one of those a thorough search. I'm like, was it really that thorough though?
1930s thorough.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, yeah.
This was
exactly.
Great Depression thorough.
And we don't.
They
have
could
any
only
more.
afford about a tenth of it.
Basically, they just looked around and were like, "Hey,
Hey,
kid."
They looked on
kid.
the grounds. They looked underneath the stage.
they looked
kids
underneath
aren't-
a single rock.
Yep.
And like it's just like, pew.
They lifted up a seat.
Nah, the kid's gone home. It's fine.
Yeah, he's not here. This is 1930s. We're all broke, and it's really dusty. All the sets and scripts for the play were destroyed, except for one that was hidden away. Tina tells the group that the boy became a real phantom, and he continues to haunt the school, thwarting any attempts to put on the play. Mrs. Walker attempts to reassure the children it's all just a story, but the tale seems to frighten the entire cast. Mrs. Walker reveals a trapdoor that leads to below the stage, which, in the book, how it's revealed is she literally falls down the fucking trap door and she could have broken her fucking leg.
Yeah, she was like,
Jesus.
Because it's like a 6-foot drop.
yeah.
And then in the TV show, the kid accidentally activated it in his chair, but he's just like slowly going down. And Miss Walker, being the great teacher that she is just completely ignoring him.
Is she hot in the show?
I will say 90s hot.
Okay, 90s hot. Okay.
Yeah. So where you're like,
90s Canadian hot.
yes.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
where you're like, yeah, would. But, like, it's gotta be annoying.
Yeah.
I think it's also just middle school. As a theater teacher in middle school, she's probably just like, there's too much shit going on. I cannot pay attention to this.
Yeah, because she
honestly.
forgot she had it down and she just fell into it. Just gonna leave this down instead of, fucking.
And then,
What I love is she's like, don't touch it. And then Zeke's like, I've got to touch it.
I gotta touch it. She tells the class it was created during the original production of the play so the Phantom could appear and vanish during the course of the story. Mrs. Walker hopes it can be used once more, but it needs some renovations first.
And in true public school fashion, nothing happens.
Nothing changed.
The Phantom is about a theater owner named Carlos. In the basement of his theater, there's a deformed phantom who hides his scarred face behind a mask. Carlos's daughter, Esmeralda, falls in love with the Phantom, but her boyfriend Eric finds out and kills the masked man. The Phantom remains as a ghost to haunt the theater forever.
Which, hold on, let's think about this real quick, because again, through the power of plays, they never disclose the age of Esmeralda.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, your dad owns an auditorium or a theater,
yeah.
Right? You fall in love with this, but
your boyfriend kills him.
of all things. So let me get this straight, lady. Every time, is this a recurring theme? Because like every time your dad has a theater production, you fall in love.
No, that's the actual play.
Right.
Yeah.
No. But so what I'm saying is, like, in the play, the dad owns this theater.
Okay, yeah.
So you would have to assume that this is the only play or production that the dad has produced.
Fair enough.
Right.
But everyone else is what's it called? Is disgusting from the Black Plague or something.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
half of them are dying from tuberculosis.
Yeah.
A little bit of blood in there. After the play's cast disbands for the day, Brooke and Zeke stay behind to investigate under the stage.
Gotta touch that button.
There isn't much to find except a maze-like series of dark, cramped corridors. As they go back to the top of the stage, they run into a strange old man. He introduces himself as Emil, the school's night janitor. He questions what the kids were doing, snooping around beneath the stage, and he warns them of the dangers of exploring the trapdoor. The following day, Brooke finds a new boy sitting in her seat. He introduces himself as Brian Colson.
Hi, I'm Brian.
And he claims he's just moved to the school from Indiana.
The most haunted of places.
So, fun fact, in the musical, like, that's the whole, hey, you're sitting in my seat, like, bit.
Yeah.
But there's a part where she's like, where are you from? Indiana. And she's like, ew.
Yeah, that is part, yep.
And then she's like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, no, that's fair, because it's Indiana. Brian seems eager to join the play, and Brooke allows him to accompany her to play practice to see if he can get a part. Later, Brooke opens her locker to discover one of Zeke's monster masks inside. Dangling from the mask is a note scribbled in red crayon. It reads, "Stay away from my home, sweet home."
In red crayon, so you need to say it like a baby. Stay away from my home, sweet home.
Brooke quickly accuses Zeke of trying to scare her, but he denies having anything to do with it, which honestly kind of tracks considering
I was about to say, Zeke.
his shit.
Zeke is a Goosebumps boy. Of course he would have done this.
100%. During the play's rehearsal, Brian asks Mrs. Walker for a potential role in the play. He's disappointed to discover he's a few days late, but he is allowed to work as part of the scenery crew with Tina. In the show, he is forced to do it.
Yeah.
Oof, poor Brian.
Because remember I told you, like, Tina comes up and is like, oh my god, blah, 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 blah. Like, does the typical 90s thing. Next scene, you see him, like, the scenery's done and Tina's taking credit, and Brian's, like, all disheveled and whatnot.
I fucking did this so much.
I think I ate some paint. Good.
Good job.
Good bitch.
Brooke sits down and begins to read her script when the lights go out. A shrill scream is heard.
It's just every middle schooler as soon as the lights go out.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
I'm waiting for that to happen.
Because I was like, the fact that, like, I was listening to the audiobook, and everyone's like, what happened? What's going on? I'm like, I know as soon as the lights go out, there's always one girl that screams like she's getting stabbed.
And normally, again, normal school hours, and if it's not a very dark overcast, there's still light coming.
Well, if it's an auditoriums...
Oh, true. Yeah.
They don't have light.
It's not the same as, like, a classroom.
Yeah.
But in a classroom, yeah.
Yeah, in a classroom, the lights would go out, and someone would still scream.
I hated that so fucking much.
Like, it did not matter what class you were in, or what grade, as soon as the lights went out.
Yeah, someone's doing that. And it's the high-pitched...
I'm not going to do it, because I don't want to hurt Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know the scream.
If you've ever been in a public school.
And a masked man swings down from the catwalk into the trapdoor. Look at him walking that catwalk.
I'm looking fine on the catwalk.
Brooke once again thinks the culprit must be Zeke. However, after school, Zeke tells Brooke that he wasn't at the rehearsal due to having a dentist appointment.
It was an alibi.
Yeah.
Brooke begins to wonder if Tina could be trying to sabotage her in order to get the part.
Who would she get for that, though?
She's her understudy.
Yeah, she's the understudy.
But I'm like saying...
She would be Esmeralda.
No, I'm saying, like, who would she get to be the Phantom? Because she said it looked like a guy that was doing it.
She could have gotten, like... She could have showed some tit and been like, hey, do this.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, no.
Middle school.
Yeah.
Do anything
even
for
just
some
to,
tit.
like, over the bra.
Yeah, I'll let you touch over the shirt.
Yeah, and they'd be like, eh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trust me, it would have been easy.
You're right.
These are sad children. These are sad, horny R.L. Stein children.
Yeah, it's specifically sad, horny
R.L. Stein.
children. The next day, the Phantom appears again. He rises from the stage and grabs hold of Brooke.
Dun, 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 dun.
He violently shakes her and warns her to stay away from his home and to become his muse.
My favorite thing in the, at least how it was done in the audiobook, is she's like, is he gonna shake me to death? And I was like, what are you, a baby? Yeah. Because I'm like, I'm sure it's uncomfortable and hurts. Like, I'm not...
I mean...
Well, you can get whiplash, like very
Yeah.
bad whiplash.
I mean, I like to think at this point it's Emil doing it, possibly.
Yeah.
And he's a full-grown man shaking a teenage girl. You could really hurt somebody from shaking
True.
them.
Yeah.
But just the more death, I was like, I don't know if death.
Death, maybe not. Maybe a slow death.
I feel like, again, it could really hurt and do
Very
some
painful,
damage.
slow death.
She didn't get it checked out and
Yeah.
internal bleeding.
Yeah.
No, I guess.
Brooke realizes the figure isn't Zeke, just before he vanishes through the auditorium doors. The encounter leads Zeke to believe there really is a phantom haunting the school, and he becomes eager to get to the bottom of what's going on.
I'm gonna get to the bottom, as I am a bottom.
The following day, Brooke follows Zeke into the principal's office. Zeke asks the secretary if Emil has any useful information. The secretary reveals nobody named Emil is employed at the school. The school doesn't even have a night janitor.
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah,
Doesn't
no.
add up really. There's almost. I mean, at least for our school district, there are night janitors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's usually, like, one that does night to an extent.
Yeah.
Like, usually not overnight or anything like that, but,
Yeah.
No, but like after the school is closed and whatnot.
like,
yeah.
to 8 p.m. about.
Yeah. 8 to 10, depending on where you're working at.
Yeah.
They tell her of a run-in with Emil, but she doesn't seem to believe the story. After school...
That doesn't happen in the book.
Yeah, I don't remember that in the book.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
I remember them just being like, hey, did Emil find my...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why. Yeah. Spongy fix it. Emil. What's it called? Zeke was looking for his math book that he left behind in the auditorium.
And he was like, I wonder if Emil picked it up. And
Yeah,
the
and he
secretary's
asked-
like, who's Emil?
Yeah. He wasn't asking about like under any investigation. Spongy fix it, or unless it's somewhere else. No, just fix it.
No, because in the audiobook, which is based off the
Yeah.
reprints.
Yeah. So Spongy fix it.
After school, Brooke and Zeke talk Brian into accompanying them while they investigate the school. The three enter the auditorium and discover the play's backdrop has been vandalized with red paint.
Dun, 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 dun.
Also, poor Brian is like,
Yeah. He's like, I worked so hard on that.
he's like, I spent so much time on that. And honestly, fair.
Yeah.
On it splattered, the same message Brooke saw on the note on her locker. Mrs. Walker enters the room, and she is shocked at what she sees. She scolds the kids for sneaking into the school and accuses them of vandalizing the set.
And Brian's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Brian's like,
You
what
think
the
I would have
fuck?
done this to what I spent like fucking days on?
Yeah.
Mrs. Walker discovers a trail of red paint, marks in the hallway that leads to Zeke's locker, and there is a fresh can of red paint inside.
Also, I have to point out an inconsistency in the book. I'm pretty sure it says there was a footprint in the red paint. Mm-hmm. She could have easily have checked their shoes if there's red paint on them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, because she mentions, well, I'm also like,
And hell, you could even check their hands or anything to see if they have paint on them, period.
Because
Yeah,
if it's
and-
that fresh, they wouldn't have been able to change. And
Yeah.
wash it
Kids
off.
aren't that subtle.
No one can paint
And I'm
something
like-
that big without getting it on themselves.
Yeah.
And if there's a shoe print, shoes have different marks on the bottom of them,
Yeah,
depending on
you
brand.
can track
and,
them.
Yeah.
And like, you could see, and I feel like Emil probably does not have the same shoes
No.
that Zeke has.
Absolutely not.
No. He actually has a teenage boy's foot. He never grew past.
I mean, to
past
be
6
fair, that would
feet.
be very convenient for him because he could just steal shoes from the school.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, see, that would be
Well, and it
different.
could also be like my dad, who was like 6 foot by the time he was in 6th grade.
Yeah.
So he could just find that one kid that's just always that big kid and just steal their shoes.
There's my shoes now.
Come on, can I have my shoes back?
Zeke swears he's not responsible, but Mrs. Walker is unconvinced and removes him from the play. See, now this is where I was talking about earlier. Even though it is part of the backdrop, what ends up happening is the Phantom shows up, pushes her down, and then a door is about to fall on, what's her name?
Brooke?
Brooke. And
And that happens during this scene.
yes, it happens
Okay.
specifically during this scene, as she has to quickly roll out of the way, and then the door slams. It's funny because it lands on its side,
Yeah.
and then when they roll it up, the message is different, but it's the same concept.
Okay. That's an interesting change.
Yeah.
Probably to speed up the pace
Oh, yeah,
of it,
absolutely.
honestly, because there's still a lot. This is barely like the halfway point of the book.
Yeah.
And then here's the sad part. is that Zeke was like, yeah, you can call my mom, and Mrs. Walker was like, no.
Yeah, with the whole fucking dentist thing.
Yeah.
Brian and Brooke meet up with the now grounded Zeke, and he's more eager than ever to catch the Phantom and prove his innocence. The three head back to the school and take the trapdoor down to below the stage. They travel down a tunnel and discover a room that seems to be inhabited by someone living beneath the school. There's filthy pornography everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They find
That's
it
just crudely drawn boobs.
Yeah, just with crayons.
Yeah, with the red crayon.
One's bigger than the other.
Yeah. I like them like that. I like them uneven. They find a fresh bowl of cereal sitting out and realize the Phantom must be nearby.
The most unrealistic thing is when he was like, because wasn't it like cornflakes?
Yeah, it said cornflakes, and it's like, it hasn't gone soggy yet.
And I'm like, okay, I call bullshit on the simple fact that cornflakes go soggy in like 5 seconds.
This is the 90s. Cornflakes were different back then.
So much preservatives.
Yep.
It's not even technically cornflakes.
Their investigation is cut short by an angry Emil. He reveals himself to be a homeless man who has taken to living beneath the stage. So is it the same in the show? Is Emil still a homeless man?
Yes.
Just a random dude.
He is.
Yeah.
But still, it's just one of those things where when that happened, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
To a point, but I'm just like, RL, that's gonna be your human villain, the homeless.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel bad for this guy.
So do I.
He's less of like, I think he has a good reasoning though. Like we'll get into it.
Also, in the musical, it's really sad because like even then he's like the guy has this whole song of like how he's just down on his luck and he's just trying to get back up on his feet.
Which I mean, that's kind of it's said in the book too, where he's like, "Hey, I got like let go from my job. I couldn't afford my apartments." Like, I knew about this because my dad used to be a custodian here, so I thought, hey, I would just live here for a while.
And then...
And it turned out too good.
And then, like, what happens is he's like, they're like, we won't tell anyone. He's like, I know you won't. And they start running away, and he's like, wait, come back, I didn't mean it like that. And I'm like, oh.
I feel like he's if he hadn't done all the stupid shit of like, hey, stay away from my home, and just was like, hey, I'm just a night janitor, use that as like his fucking excuse, and just like maybe boarded up the room a little bit, like maybe try to hide, like put a piece of plywood right there.
Yep, absolutely.
And been like,
he could have gotten away.
He could have gotten away with it, but if it weren't for you meddling kids and your Phantom boy. Rinky. But yes, he tells them he tried to warn them to stay away from his home, but they didn't listen. Brooke asks if he's the boy who died during the play, but Emil is confused and says he's like 52.
He's like, I'm not that old.
Yeah. The three run away from the man and are rescued by Zeke's father, who had traveled to the school as soon as he discovered Zeke was missing.
How sad of a small town is it that it's like, my son went missing. Where did he... The school.
Yeah. I mean, hey, return to the scene of the crime.
Yeah,
true.
true.
Excuse me, no. So there is a difference.
Okay.
So it's not Zeke's dad. The teachers were having a meeting.
Gotcha. That makes a little more sense than Zeke's dad, I feel like. Zeke's dad calls the police and they arrive later on. While they are unable to find Emil, Zeke is ultimately given his part back in the school play because they discover that, there was a homeless man there.
What I love is he cleared it out, including the cereal.
Yeah.
Like, including the cereal bowl.
Well, like, I'm glad the book and hopefully the musical was kind to Emil by letting him go. Emil got arrested.
In the show.
They took him away.
Yeah, he got away in the book.
I don't know. The musical, it kind of got left to, like, it's one of those that they don't have it.
Yeah, leave it to your imagination.
They have him run away, and it sounds like he doesn't chase them, like, in the book.
Yeah, he doesn't chase him either in the book.
Yeah, it's not like... They don't it drops off in the songs, so I don't know what happened because, again, I just listened to the songs.
Yeah.
Before long, it is finally the night of the play. Brooke waits for Zeke to arrive on the stage. Also, one of the things that it's not in here, but in the book, one of the best things that felt so real was some 5th graders that are hogging the mirror, and they're like, I'm trying to do my makeup, and they're like, hee, and she's like, fucking need to do my makeup, bitch.
Get the fuck out of the way.
It's like, giggle one more time, I swear to God.
I'd like you to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but I'm like, wow, that is very accurate. I will say that.
Yeah.
Brooke waits for Zeke to arrive on the stage. The trapdoor rises and the Phantom emerges.
Dun, 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 dun.
Looking into his eyes, she can tell instantly it isn't Zeke. The Phantom begins to go off script and tells the crowd about the night he died, when he plummeted to his death by falling through the stage's trapdoor.
What is he, me trying to roleplay poorly?
He claims...
Just giving away his whole backstory.
He claims to be the boy who went missing many years ago, but he's returned to the play as his greatest role. Brooke approaches the Phantom and tears off his mask, but his face is obscured by darkness.
Oh, it's darkness, not blackface.
He staggers back and falls through the trapdoor. The audience claps and cheers, thinking this was all part of the show. Zeke eventually emerges from the trapdoor and says he was knocked out by someone earlier.
Guys, someone hit me over the head and I got amnesia.
So a change in the musical is that he doesn't do like the no and like backs up and falls and re-dies.
Yeah.
He does the whole thing, and like after that, like after the play, she's like, "It was you, the boy that," and he's like, "Yes," and she takes off his mask, and then he's like, "I must go now. Bye, Brooke. Bye."
Goodbye, buddies.
That feels more thematically cool than what happened in this one.
Yeah, like I actually like the theater adaptation better on that part, at least.
Though I will at least admit that this did give him closure so he could move on to the afterlife if you think about it.
But Brooke's like, "I killed him technically again."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she has that kind of moment where she's like, "I accidentally killed a man."
No.
Yeah, in the show, his eyes like kind of glow, so that's how she knew that it wasn't Zeke. And then he gives a very similar monologue at the end when Zeke's getting brought up. Again, terrible teacher.
Yeah.
Walks up, is like, "Oh, you did such a good job. It was kind of off the script, but oh, come on!" Like,
I think that's actually a quote from the book too, where she's like, "You
Yeah,
went a
she's
little
like-
off script, but it was so good."
She was like, "I like the new lines you added," I think was what she said.
Yep.
Yep.
No, he ends up rubbing his head, and she's like, "Come on!" Like, dude's obviously something's wrong.
He's concussed. He's literally, "I have brain damage. Help me. I need to
they're
go to
like,
the
"Good
hospital."
job. Good job.
Are my pupils the same size, guys?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, doesn't matter. We
I
need
feel
to bow.
nauseous. I feel really nauseous. I don't.
It's
what's
just a
going
stage
on?
fright. It's okay. It's just the adrenaline
God.
wearing off.
And I will say, bless the day actor kid that they chose. But on stage right, the last kid, as they're bowing, he doesn't know what to do, and he just goes, like, lifts both arms.
God bless that Canadian boy.
That kid
I
that
want to
just-
interview that child who is now a grown-ass
My
man.
mom made me be here. Kind of energy.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Brooke and Zeke head to Brooke's locker, and she opens it, looking for her coat. To their surprise, an old yearbook falls out. The book is dated from the 1920s. She turns to a bookmarked page, and there is an article detailing an upcoming play called The Phantom.
Sorry, this is a very shining moment.
The kids quickly look to see who is cast in the starring role, and they discover the identity of the boy who vanished in the original play, Bright. And then they don't go back to their locker, but when the Phantom leaves, as Zeke is getting brought up, the book
is on him, right?
Yeah,
I remember that part for some reason.
And when she put it, I don't know about you guys, even in our yearbooks growing up, even in Tucson High yearbooks, when you opened it, it wasn't this like, it looked like, you know when plays make the pamphlet?
Yeah.
And how it's like for the stars of the play or like starring blah, blah, blah. It was that inside the book. I'm just like,
okay.
Damn, they dedicated a whole thing to theater back in 1920s?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think they did, considering we have a 1960s middle school book in our
possession currently.
No, they did not do that.
I mean, they didn't have plays as far as I know. Just AV Club.
Yeah.
With your giant dad.
Again, I told you my dad was just giant to start out with and just never stopped being giant.
He was huge.
So, any notes, guys? Because I actually have quite a few.
I have a couple notes.
We can bounce off of each other a little.
Gonna say mine's mainly about the adaptation differences.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. I want to hear some of the differences.
First off, like they open a song basically just called Goosebumps, and it's like, "Do you get scares?" kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it actually references some of the other books, not just this one. Because Say Cheese and Die, because it mentions like a camera that can kill you. Mm-hmm. It also has Revenge of the Lom Gnomes, Let's Get Invisible, and Night of the Living Dummy references.
Oh, okay.
Well, in the book, Esmeralda's boyfriend is named Eric. In the play, it's Raoul.
Okay.
And you know why?
Because in the original Phantom of the Opera, it's Raoul.
Yep.
Because Eric is the name of the Phantom. Can't get me on my Phantom of the Opera. I almost bought the book so I could compare the two.
Dun, 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 dun.
Also, the cast recording album features the illustration from Tim Jacobus, the first official Goosebumps commission he has done since the 2015 Goosebumps film.
Yep.
Oh, good for him.
And then I have
When
the
was
cast.
production?
It was like 2020, I think, or 2019.
2021, I think, was when it said.
Yeah.
Pandemic era.
Yes.
October 29th, 2021 was the release date.
There we go.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I have the cast.
Okay, yeah, I'm curious. You'll say who. I'd be like, oh, wow.
So,
Wow me, Sam. Wow me.
so some of them are kind of like nothing you'd really know much of.
Yeah.
So there's Christina Albedado. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. As Brooke.
Dabba-dee-dabba-doo.
She's done a lot of small roles. She's also like in Has Been Hotel and Monster High.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, and then for our Zeke, there's Will Royland, who's been in like Under Billions
name.
and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt and some other things.
Okay, I think I know him from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
R.L. Stein is Principal Stein.
There we go. That's who he plays.
And he
That's
has
right.
a speaking role in two parts.
Yeah.
One is in Whodunit when Zeke gets caught quote unquote red-handed.
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah,
That's
he's
his
like,
line.
who did it, Zeke? And he's like, I didn't do it. And he's like, well, who did? And then also in the Goosebumps reprise, which is like the end of the play.
Yeah. I wrote them.
And then
Bitches.
and then Noah Galvin as Brian.
No, Calvin.
George in Booksmart. And Dr. Asher in The Good Doctor. He's not the I'm a surgeon doctor.
I knew that. Because you should have, if you were going to say him, I would expect you to say Charlie of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, no, he's not that either. Yeah. Obviously.
Or Norman Bates in Psycho, the series.
And then
Or Bates Motel.
For Tina, she's just been a lot of, like, it's one of those, like, one episode here, one episode there, and a bunch of different TV shows. Then for Emil, you have Alex Brightman.
That sounds familiar.
Beetlejuice in the musical.
I can't stand him.
School of Rock musical.
Yeah, I can't stand him at all. I hate his voice so goddamn much.
Because
I sound like this!
I actually enjoy it.
I hate it. It is the most... it pisses me off so much hearing his voice. Because it's like the most stereotypical, I'm so cool. It's like listening to Dippy Fresh from fucking Gravity Falls. And like, it's funny in the moment, but hearing a whole fucking musical of, hey, how's it going?
And this is the one that I think would probably get you the most, was Mrs. Walker, was played by Cheryl Lee Ralph. Rita from Oliver and Company.
Okay.
Amanda Waller in Young Justice.
All right.
And then Barbara Howard from Abbott Elementary.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right.
As soon as I heard her, I was like, I know she sounds familiar. And then I heard it and I'm like, oh.
So you're saying that the Miss Walker in this one is hot?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking love me some Abbott Elementary. If you don't watch it, you should. Great show.
So yeah, that's the main cast.
All right. Let's get into some of my notes. Unless you have anything else, Sam.
That's the main bits.
Who's ready for some pop culture references?
Woo!
We have Kermit the Frog. Zeke has Kermit the Frog pajamas.
Oh yeah.
That he gets embarrassed by. Guys and Dolls. Well, because what's it called? No one wants to admit they wear pajamas with like characters on them still in middle school.
You're in middle school, so it's the whole...
Okay.
It's not cool anymore to admit that.
I mean, I wear Kermit the Frog socks, so it's all cool.
I mean, we're at the age where it kind of goes back to, even if it's not cool, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm at that age where I don't give a fuck.
True.
Hanging over my beer belly. Guys and Dolls, obviously. Poltergeist and Friday the 13th. So the kids in this one are huge horror movie fans, so let's go ahead and discuss the horror movies that came out the same year as this book, 1994. We have In the Mouth of Madness, a John Carpenter H.P. Lovecraft film starring Sam Neill. Super creepy, really good movie. Very underrated if you ask me.
I'm gonna say, that sounds interesting just based on those three.
Yeah, it's a very good
this
one.
next one is really
Interview
good.
with a Vampire.
Yeah.
Absolutely love this movie.
The homoeroticism.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, the...
Like, super.
Like, I wouldn't really consider it like a pure horror movie. It's more of like a romantic movie than anything. A bit of a drama, but definitely has like the elements of horror being, about vampires.
I love the TV series they did. Does not shy away from the homoeroticism at
good.
all.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like, no, you came here for the gayness.
Stephen King's The Stand, the TV miniseries that was like 3 movies long. I honestly really like it. It's a good adaptation if you ask me. Wes Craven's New Nightmare, probably my favorite one of this year. And a ton of random horror sequels like Leprechaun 2, Pumpkinhead 2. I think that's On Bloody Wings. It's terrible. It doesn't even have Pumpkinhead in it. It's fucking...
I feel like they'd
so
watch
bad.
it and laugh. It's one of those kind of ones.
No, they don't. They're not ironic enough yet.
Gotcha.
They're not your nephew. Ghoulies 4, everyone's favorite Ghoulies, the little guys who come out of the toilets. Puppet Master 5.
Let's go.
Yeah, you and Joel would love. He loves the Puppet Master movies. I never understood why. I mean, I like them, but he loves them. And we have Phantasm 3, and I like all the Phantasm movies. I know they decline in quality after the first one, but I love them to death. Very weird Italian horror. And as I like to wrap it up, what a terrible year for horror, because there was only like 3 good movies and a whole lot of schlock. Because there were others listed, but I'm like, I don't really care. I mean, there was Cemetery Man, but that's one that I don't think anyone would know except for like me.
Yeah, no.
Because it's another Italian horror movie. Really good. It's about a guy who works in a cemetery and the dead come back to life and they have to like pretty much take him out. And this one dude falls in love with a girl and she ends up dying and he ends up wanting to have love her again because she's, comes back.
Yeah.
And he ends up like, I think, getting his... I can't remember if he gets his dick cut off or he gets it cut off for another reason, for doing necrophilia. It's a really weird movie.
That's kind of great, though. Like,
Yeah, I don't even think I'm doing it justice. I don't even think that's how it goes. I think I'm just mixing up with another movie.
I mean, it sounds
It's an
Sounds
interesting
like an
one.
Avenged Sevenfold song, a very specific one.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I'll just say that. They talk about a film festival for the Creature series. They just call it The Creature. They mentioned one is in 3D, so I'm just going to assume it is the Creature from the Black Lagoon, and these kids are cool, because I love me some Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
There's a weird error between pages 8 and 9. There's a quote happening, but no ending quotation mark.
So you could say that the rest of the book is just nothing but a quote.
They just talk
No,
the whole
there
time.
are other end quotes, though, so
True.
it's just weird. It has a double quote for some reason. The reveal that there isn't a night janitor still gives me goosebumps.
Like, that is creepy.
Yeah, it's like there is no night janitor. What are you talking about? Oh my god, there's a creepy homeless man here. Ew.
Yeah, it's like, then who the fuck was that?
Then
like,
who was phone?
Yeah.
Chapter 16 was a banger. I can't remember what happens in that chapter, but apparently it was a banger. When there are actual stakes in a Goosebumps story, that's when it's a pretty solid book. You really feel for Book when Tina is trying to steal the role of Esmeralda away from her.
Yeah.
I think that's what's happened between 16 and 19.
Well, and I love she's so passive aggressive. She's like, must be really hard.
Yeah.
You look really worn down. Are you getting sick?
Yeah, oh yeah. Are you getting sick with the flu? You look flushed.
Yeah, she like keeps trying to like make her. I'm half expecting her to like cough in her face, just be like,
Yeah, which is sad because they didn't really play on that in the TV show. Like here in Play and Book, it's typical jealous understudy.
Yeah.
Who, like we said earlier, is the red herring of like the villain,
Yeah.
right?
One red herring.
But in the TV series, it's just like whiny teenage girl.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't fit everything in.
Correct, yeah.
And even in Who Done It, so they were like, maybe it's the janitor because he's not even a janitor. So who the fuck
Yeah.
is this guy? And then they're like, well, what about Tina? Because she does kind of want your part. And they're like, the problem is, why would you get rid of Zeke?
Yeah.
You wouldn't get rid of Zeke. You'd get rid of Brooke.
Correct.
Chapter 19, there's a clue to Brian being the Phantom because a dog is focused on barking at him.
Which is
Oh, yeah.
Yep, which is a good clue to the last one.
It's one of those, I didn't notice that, but when you say that, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yep.
Because they're like, for some reason,
Yep.
the dog just doesn't like you.
Yeah, and will not stop barking at him. And my final note, Durher, we forgot we have to pull the door open, not push it.
There's a chapter
I
where
hated
they're
that
like,
fucking part.
we're locked in, we can't. And they're like trying to push it open. And then the chapter break, and they're like, wait, we had to push the door open to get in. So maybe we pull it? And they just pull it open like
Literally.
nothing.
Durr.
And I'm like, really?
I know, it's
I mean, to
so
be fair,
dumb.
sometimes when you're panicked, you don't make the smartest choices.
Fair enough. Alright, and what do you guys think inspired the Stein?
Phantom of the Opera.
Duh.
Yeah.
Like,
I think there's a little bit of Hunchback of Notre Dame because Esmeralda is the name of that character and is not
yeah.
a character in Phantom of the Opera. Pretty obvious it's Phantom of the Opera. All right, so time for some random questions. Have you ever been in a school play before?
Yep.
nope.
I have. One. What were you in your play? And when was it?
There was an Annie Oakley play that I was in.
Yeah.
There was, oh god, what was it called? 1960 or yeah,
Chinatown.
the 1960s, 1950s whole like, god, what was his name? Of course, I'm on the spot, so I can't think of it. But Grease. It was a greaser type play.
Okay, not Grease.
No, it wasn't Grease, but it was something. Come back.
Bye-bye.
Think
I
of
can't.
the name.
I can't.
All I can think of is the stupid home movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, just a couple.
Yeah, I was in a play that the 5th grade teacher wrote. I can't remember what it's called. The script is somewhere in the room. I can't remember where I put it.
Script in the room.
The script is somewhere in the room, is calling from inside the room. And that was the final year that teacher worked there, so that's why Sam wasn't in a play in 5th grade.
Yep, I didn't get it, because, she retired that
She retired.
next year.
I played Dr. Seuss and was in a bunch of the singing parts, because I like to sing. I like to sing. The moon and the June and the spring. Do you believe in curses, like cursed plays?
Not cursed plays.
Yeah.
But I think that I think you can manifest your own thought.
That's kind of what
yeah.
I think of. I
I
think
think
it
you
can be
can
a
manifest
self-fulfilling self-fulfilling prophecy of like kind of like the Macbeth or like the again a lot of superstition stuff
Correct, yeah.
Fair enough.
of gonna say the Spider-Man one that wasn't cursed as much as it was just
Fucked.
I was gonna say I think the problem is it's already a technically challenging piece before anything gets started.
Was there a weird secret hidden place at one of your schools?
Tucson High Tunnels.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Yeah,
about the Tucson High
there's the
Tunnels.
Tucson High Tunnels. Ironically enough, underneath the auditorium.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was
I was basically like not invited to go down because the low brass wanted to go, and like they let the girl that was the I'm so popular girl go down, but not me.
Yeah.
oh yeah, and even in the band room the storage.
Yeah.
Also.
So fuck you, Andy specifically. Also Corey, fuck you too.
Yeah, they probably felt her up down there.
Oh, probably.
Oh, 100%.
So
100%.
That's why I'm saying fuck you more to them, because
Yeah.
like I don't necessarily blame the other girl, I more blame them.
Okay.
That fair?
Which is scarier, Friday the 13th or Poltergeist? And I'll explain the reason for this question after we decide. I think Poltergeist is scarier of the two.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Like, Friday the 13th is creepy, it's got the serial killer, but in all honesty, I could probably take Pamela Voorhees in bed.
Most likely,
Yeah.
But with Poltergeist, my whole thing with Poltergeist, it's not so much what was happening in Poltergeist was what was happening in the home,
Yeah.
not the people.
Mhm.
So again, if you smarten up and just say fuck this piece of property,
Yeah. Like, the only reason they didn't leave was because their kid got fucking kidnapped by the spirits, and they
Yeah.
had to stay.
but for me, it's like what's tied to the movie
Mhm.
So,
Oh, yeah.
outside of the production.
There's a death
itself.
kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't believe in that, in all honesty. It's just the three of the people who died were old,
Yeah.
and the little girl, that was just unfortunate.
Correct.
I would say with Poltergeist, it's kind of similar but different in that sense of like, again, Pamela Voorhees is the one that's the issue.
Yeah.
And it's also very localized.
Mhm.
Whereas the spirits in this specific case are localized, but in that thought of like,
Technically, it would be like all the houses if you think about it,
Yeah.
because they moved the gravestones, but they didn't move the bodies. I'm Craig T. Nelson. I play Coach.
So it should have been that whole neighborhood if you think about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they were in development.
so they're just one of the first houses that could move in.
Yeah. So, and the reason I asked that is because the sister showed the little brother Poltergeist, and she's like, that was scary, but I don't think I would show him Friday the 13th because that's way too scary.
What?
Which, I mean, I
I
don't
feel like
I
for
don't
a
know.
little kid, it might be scarier in that sense
I don't know.
of
I
like,
think Poltergeist is way scary because it feels. You have that fucking clown. You got that creepy tree.
You know what?
Like-
You want to know what it is? It's what's happening in Poltergeist is inanimate objects attempting or hurting people.
Yeah.
Where in Friday the 13th, like,
You do see visceral
Yeah,
death, and
yeah.
you do see a little arrow go through Kevin Bacon's throat.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then Voorhees is like,
Yeah.
stepping on someone or like ripping them.
yeah, so I feel like in
and-
some ways it could be scarier in that sense. If it's
So I
very
can
visceral.
understand that comparison.
Yeah, fair enough. What's your favorite version of Phantom of the Opera? Mine's Phantom of the Paradise. Absolutely love that version. I have the soundtrack on vinyl. 1970s classic. I also really enjoy I was about to say Phantom of the Opera 2003. I was like, no, I don't like that
That's
one.
no
But-
one's favorite.
Yeah, that no, there are people who like that one. I kind of like the Phantom of the Megaplex, the Disney Channel one, or not Disney Channel one.
I haven't seen that one forever, so
Like, I
can't-
remember really liking it, but like I haven't seen it as an adult, so I would change my mind.
I honestly can't think right now just because it's one of those.
Oh
I
yeah, and
haven't
of course the
seen a lot of them.
1930s one with Lon Chaney. Like that one's fucking boss.
Fair.
I think
just-
any live production.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that of like I'm always down for a live production version.
And final question, unless you guys have any other questions before I ask the final question.
No, because actually with this final question, mine's just a theory, so I'm excited to find out if he did or not.
Yeah. Did R.L. Stein write this?
I think he did.
I actually think he did as well. There's a couple things that I can point to.
Oh, okay. Cool.
One, Mrs. Walker is a redhead.
We have the redhead.
We had the redhead to start off. I feel like the actual like setting of the school and how he had the kids kind of like there's still the douchebag kids, which he tends to love writing, especially with the boy-girl friendship. He loves boy-girl friendships.
Yeah, boy-girl friendship or brother-sister
Yep.
or
Like,
cousins.
but boy-girl friendship, I feel like is a big R.L. Stein one, because if he does like little brother, big sister, or the sibling ones, it doesn't feel right. But when he does the boy-girl friendship, he knows how to write them platonically without them being like sexualized.
without it being weird.
Yeah, without it being weird.
Well, because he's never been sexualized with anyone.
That's not true.
No,
It's
we know Arl Stein fucks. Remember?
Yes,
We
one, R.L. Stein fucks, and two, Fear Street does have sex.
Ah.
Yeah, and he has
So-
written an adult book with a lot of sex for some reason.
He was like, I wasn't allowed to write. That's just
I
wasn't
will write
allowed to
all the
write
titties. And I feel like there being some loose ends with like Tina not going anywhere, Emil getting away and not knowing where he was feels very anticlimactic and feels very R.L. Stein.
Okay.
Also, sometimes he'd use like one of them was like my legs feel like chewing gum, and he'd just use that metaphor repeatedly,
Chewing gum.
and that feels much more R.L. Stein than changing it.
And there's some pretty decent descriptions too of like outside areas. He writes really good outside description prose.
Yeah,
Okay.
So
Cool.
that's my theories. I'm at like a 90% sure yes.
I'm pretty sure as well based on similar things to you.
Yeah.
And my other thought is like, if it was one he was not invested in,
Mm-hmm.
why would he do a cameo on a musical?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, true.
That is my other thought.
Yeah. That's
That's
fair point.
my theory.
But then hear me out here. R.L. Stein fucks.
I mean, we already know that. That's
definitively.
What about you, on? You said you had some things.
Well, now that because again, I was.
See, I should have let you go first.
Yeah, I was leaning towards like a 75 to 80.
Mm-hmm.
But now again, the big key thing is, would he join a live production on something that he didn't write?
Yeah, that's a biggie. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's like
he might still.
He's old. He's like, yeah, sure.
Maybe he needs the money.
He's like 80.
No, he does not need the money. He's very well off. Oh. Goosebumps has kept him very well off with the books and the movies
and the TV series and the products.
Probably.
Yep, product placements are still literally new Funko Pops came out and new games come out. Like they have even new toys and T-shirts from very specific brands.
Oh yeah.
All right, well that's it for this one. Sam, what's your book report? Juan, what's your TV report? Your TV guide review?
Oh yeah, so TV guide review. It felt like a good, very rushed. Mm-hmm. But again, you're going for a TV version of a school production of Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah,
it had again neglective teacher. The boy girl friendship, mm-hmm. again, like you said, very well done. And even when the Phantom is always like, come run away, there was no matter what, it was still very platonic no matter what. Like, yeah. Brooke cared about Zeke. Zeke was just a lot of blood, like
a lot of blood rushing to his dick.
Well,
blue balled.
He was he took the brunt of like a lot of blame, but no matter what, Brooke still cared about like, oh, where's Zeke? Oh, is Zeke okay? Blah blah blah. I enjoyed it. Yeah. It was a fun ride. And like I told Chris and Sam earlier today, when I watched it on YouTube, I watched it at like a 1.25 or 1.5 speed.
Yeah.
The pacing wasn't bad. it actually made
all
it more
enjoyable. All the quiet moments where they're pausing is not there.
Yeah. Or, for example, you know how sometimes in the TV series, it takes like 20 to 30 seconds before like the jump happens.
Yeah.
No, it was like,
Actually, a good jump in response versus.
Yeah, so again, I enjoyed it. I would give it a very solid 4.
All right, Sam. What about you? What you can do a review on the audiobook and the music at least.
So I didn't get to watch the what we call a slime tutorial.
Yeah.
Because I was at work and I didn't want to, and the video quality is always crap on those anyways, so understandably.
Also, for those who don't know at home, for the slime tutorial, this is how people get away with putting live productions up on YouTube, is they'll put slime tutorial and then
my other favorite is sometimes they've also put like something random that happens in the musical.
Yeah. And
they'll be like, you won't believe what happened next.
Yeah.
Because I saw that with, I want to say, Great Gatsby. And that was just really funny. But anyways.
Slime tutorial Gatsby.
That was actually the thing on the Pinterest board that sent me to the
yeah.
But anyways,
good old Pinterest.
the music is pretty solid. I actually liked it, and for Chris's benefit, Alex Brightman is only really present.
I mean, he's only playing a meal. He's in like he's 2 songs.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's like in 1 song fully, and then he's like in a little bit of like the Goosebumps. Song itself,
because that's more of the ensemble piece.
Yeah, I was gonna say pretty much everyone gets a turn on that, including a baritone that is not in the musical. That I'm disappointed, because there's like a really nice deep voice in that bit, and then
it was actually RL. Tomorrow.
Yeah, I'd be surprised considering how he sounds versus how I like the music. I think it stays pretty true to the book.
Yeah.
And for the book, I listened on audiobook just because it was easier.
Yeah, it's just easier on you.
And it was one of those where the 2.5 hours flew by.
That's cool.
Oh, that's good.
It was not one where I was like, what time is it? How much
do
longer
you ever speed them up at all?
I don't tend to.
Yeah, because whenever I do audiobooks, I do at least like a 1.25, like a little bit quicker, but not too fast.
I don't tend to, I was going to say,
especially when I was going through Dune, and I still haven't finished it.
Goosebumps is usually one where if you get a good narrator, you don't need to.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see with some where you might, but with her, it's good. And she did voices.
Yeah.
So that's always a plus.
I like it when she does it.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. Like,
she's also done a bunch of Animorphs.
Yeah, I know. She's just a scholastic lady.
Yeah, she did really well. She did a bunch of voices. Overall, I think it's a really solid Goosebump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a solid bump. Like my dick, it's a solid bump. Small, but it's there. Like this tumor, it's there.
I say 4 out of 5 as well.
Okay.
So before you get into your read, the moment we were talking about the baritone, and then you said it was R.L. Stine. In my mind, I was like, that's his fucking voice.
That's his actual real voice, and they'll be like, "Hi, I'm R.L. Stine." And then he goes back to this deep voice when he's not.
That's how he gets people in. It's like, oh my god, I didn't realize. But then it's still after he's done. Was that good for you?
That's why he couldn't get a book job for the longest time, because he was scaring people with it, actually. Yeah. So he wrote his first book, How to Be Funny. It wasn't very funny, apparently. I still want to find a copy of that fucking book.
It's out there.
Alrighty, my book report. There's a reason this one has its own stage production, why it's kind of a fan favorite. It's a fucking banger! It's one of the few Goosebumps with a hint of subtlety to it and isn't trying to go overboard with its monster. It has a few bumps that lead to nowhere. For instance, Brooke's rivalry with Tina goes nowhere, and I think it would have been more interesting to give that rivalry to Zeke and Brian, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Because Brian actually wants the part of the Phantom. Like, he says it early on. He's like, I kind of want to be it, but he's like, he's too mean to do anything. But then again, them not being after each other's throats works well with the twist ending. And I really enjoyed this one, and it feels nice to be back on some good bumps. We just got past 2 very mid bumps, so I'm really happy to be back. Because we have the Phantom of the Auditorium receiving 4.5 homeless men hiding inside of schools out of 5 in their underwear.
Yeah.
Sorry, in their underwear.
Which overall is like collectively. You know, we'll even add Weiss's score. Weiss is giving a 4 also.
Yeah.
Just to even it out. So now it's a solid bump.
It's a solid bump.
Like you're at the club and it's dancing and you're about to go like down and then you realize, hey, someone's inviting you to the bathroom. It's a solid bump.
It's a solid bump. Alrighty, that's the episode. Next time around, for the kind of pairing of this episode, we're reading Invaders from the Big Screen. Woo! Figured Auditorium movie can kind of go with it. Sure. The best part about this book, first page, 3 options.
Woo!
All right, okay. It's not going to be like last time where...
Actually, no. Last time, Ship of Ghouls had plenty of options. It was just weird.
Yeah.
It was survival horror for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, it's going to be like supernatural and ghoul. Oh no, we're just stuck on this is Life of Pi, but somehow even less interesting.
Fun fact, Life of Pi has been added to our Disney Muses list.
God damn it.
I put it on there for the specific reason because I know Sam wouldn't like it.
I was gonna say, I never saw the movie. I just read the book, and again, I felt pissed off at that fucking twist.
Yeah.
I remember Miss Hall being like, why are you... And I'm like, because it fucking lied the whole time. Like, I didn't expect... It wasn't supposed to be about introspection. It wasn't supposed to be about the tiger within us all or some bullshit.
You actually could have made the pun where it's like, it was supposed to be a tiger, not a lion.
All right, and hey, after that, it is Attack of the Mutants. I'm pretty excited for this one. It has one of my favorite Goose Kids, Skipper, little fat boy, very relatable. Love him to death. He's into comic books. I never had braces, but I really should have. But here we are.
Yeah, so we can cross our fingers for another solid bump.
I'm hoping for a solid bump. And that TV episode has Adam West, so I'm really looking forward to rewatching the TV episode.
To be fair, I did have braces, but I didn't keep wearing my retainer.
So now she sounds like this.
No.
She sounds like Sid the Sus.
I can just pop my jaw back and forth again.
Yay. Well, thank you for listening, guys. Hey, make sure to like, subscribe, all that jazz. 5 stars means a lot if you're listening to us on iTunes or Spotify. And hey, if you really enjoyed us, join our Patreon at patreon.com/Drunken Book Club. You can join for free, get all the content eventually, most of the content actually, eventually. For $1 a month, you do get all the content immediately. You get a rough draft of the episode because I tend to cut these down a bit, just for the flow of things. And Disney Movie Muses tends to be the ones that get the bigger cuts. Literally, last one I did was like only like a 24-minute or like a 30-minute recording. Cut about 8 minutes off of it because we went nowhere for a bit on that one. Me and Sam for sorting the rows.
Yeah.
But this one might have a few cuts, like maybe like 2 minutes, like probably more than 2 minutes, because I do cut out like random like. And stuff like that, and that does add up. They can be, we also cut out the dirty jokes.
Be a little naughty.
Yeah, I was about to say, if we're a little naughty, we can keep the foreskin on. Instead of it getting cut.
Yeah.
It's not going to get cut this time because it's not Disney Movie Muses.
Foreskin.
It's much better than 5-skin.
That's the one where it covers the whole thing and has a little dangly bit.
Yeah, it has like the anteater end.
Yeah.
I don't like those. They creep me out.
Yep, exactly.
And hey, we'd like to always thank our patrons who are also $1 tier. Weiss and Trey. How those weird wieners. And hey guys, let's go ahead and bow out for this one.
Dun 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 dun.
Just gonna raise my arms slightly.
Dude, that day player kid, dude, I swear. So they
10 out of 10, boy.
They do the typical bow, right? Like stage production bow. Mm-hmm. And when they're doing the second one, because again, you always do 2.
Yeah.
The second one, like, he's not holding hands with anyone. He looks and is just like...
Also, I forgot to mention that there is like a slight romance thing with Brooke and Brian. In the musical. And I was like, okay.
You know what's a really fun thing about like a background kid? In Back to the Future 3, at the very end scene where Doc is like, these are my kids. Don't look at my kids, Marty. They're great. And the little boys are just like, hey, whatever. One of them literally is waving towards the camera and then points to his dick. Look it up, guys. It's funny. Good night.
Not quite perished, my lady love, although some days I wish I had.